going to start the review with just doing the review for male and female reproductive, and then we're going to cut it into the second half and do respiratory, digestion, and urinary. Alright, so when we talk about the male reproductive system, we can say that the male testes are held by what muscular sac? The scrotal sac. And in there, the testes produce testosterone and sperm. Where are mature sperm stored? The epididymis, okay? And from there, what tube takes it from the epididymis into the male pelvic cavity? The vas deferens or the ductus deferens. And the vas deferens and the ductus deferens are housed in what? The spermatocord. And what other structures are inside the spermatocord?
Vessels.
Gonadal nerves, gonadal arteries, gonadal veins, and lymphatic tissues, okay? You can call it the testicular artery or you can call it just the gonadal artery. Okay, so from there, the vas deferens, once it enters the male pelvis, arches around what before it goes behind the bladder?
The bladder.
It arches around what before it goes around the bladder?
The
It goes into the ejaculatory duct with seminal vesicles, but it goes around the ureters from the kidneys. So from the kidneys, the ureters to the urinary bladder, the vas deferens comes out of the spermatocord, wraps around the ureters, and goes behind the bladder. Very good. From there, it meets up with the seminal vesicles. The seminal vesicles produce 60% of the contents of semen, which is going to be some sugar, fructose, and an alkaline solution. The prostate's going to give a milky solution that plays a role in activating the heads of the sperm. Prior to ejaculate, the bulbal urethral gland is going to make a mucus-like solution that helps lubricate the male urethra and remove any urine that may be along the tract. And if we count the areas that the male urethra passes through, it passes through the prostate, it passes through its thin membrane, and it passes through the penile, aka spongy urethra. It's called the spongy urethra because around it we have corpus spongiosum, and the two main areas that engulf in blood during an erection is corpus what? Cavernosum, for the two deep arteries of the penis. Very good. The head of the penis is called what? The glands, and the foreskin is removed during circumcision or the prepuce of the glands. All right? Beautiful. What else is there about the male we didn't talk about? That's about it. So from there we go right into the female. What is the external female genitalia as a whole called? The vulva, which extends from the labia majora on either side, the hood of the clitoris, almost all the way down to the anus. Okay? So we have the labia majora containing adipose and hair, labia minora, the inner lips with no hair and no adipose. We have the hood of the clitoris, if you go below that, we have the opening to external urethral orifice, then vaginal opening, and then below that we have the anus. Okay? So that gives you some landmarks. How deep is the female vagina? About 4 inches deep, and then from there we go to the neck or the cervix of the uterus, the body of the uterus, we have the fundus of the uterus, and what leads to, or I should say from, the ovaries to the uterine body? The fallopian tube, also called the uterine tube, also called the oviduct. From there, what are the flared edges of the uterine tube called? Finds the egg during ovulation. Sucks it in. The fimbriae. Yeah, the fimbriae. And again, an egg is released once a month during ovulation. Prior to the egg's release, we're in the follicular phase. Afterwards, we're in the luteal phase, hence follicle-stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone. Okay? When the egg is released during ovulation, that area where it released the egg is called the corpus luteum, and it's responsible for progesterone production. So the ovary is responsible for both progesterone and estrogen production, influenced by the anterior pituitary, and the release of your female egg once a month. Okay? What holds the ovary to the uterine body? The suspensory ligament holds the ovary upward to the inside of the abdominal cavity. The ovarian ligament goes from the ovaries to the uterine body. The ovarian ligament is in what side, what sheath? That goes laterally. The broad ligament, and also inside the broad ligament we see from the uterine body going anteriorly to the pubic area called what? The round ligament. Very good. The round ligament. What is the inner lining of the female uterus called that proliferates each month? The endometrium. with the myometrium being underneath that, and the outer layer is called the what? Perimetrium. Okay? Can we have fertilization occurring inside the fallopian tube? What is that called? An ectopic pregnancy. It's not supposed to happen, but ovulation occurs, the egg is released, fertilization occurs within the uterine tube. So it's important to know that fertilization occurs in the uterine tube. The female, inside the female body, how long do male sperm last?
3 days.
2 to 3 days. How long do male sperm last inside the male?
60.
About 60 days. Every 60 days, men have a whole new supply of sperm. Eggs and sperm are reproduced by mitosis or meiosis? Meiosis. So therefore, they're haploid cells. They have half the number of chromosomes. And when the egg and sperm come together, they complete and make one cell with 23 pairs of chromosomes. Okay? Good, good, good. They're not going to ask you questions regarding oogenesis or spermatogenesis regarding your primary spermatocyte or your primary oocyte. What's important to know with the female egg, you get 1 egg and 3 polar bodies for every division, whereas the male, you get 4 sperm, as opposed to just 1 sperm and 3 leftovers. All right? What else we talked about with the female cycle? When you start your period for the first time, that's called menarche, and when you stop it, it's called what? Menopause, anywhere between the age of 45 and 55. Can it happen sooner than that? Sure, and sometimes it can happen later than that, but that's a good average. What else do we talk about with the female? We talked about the breast. We talked about the mammary glands containing lobes. Inside the lobes, we have lobules. Inside the lobules, we have the alveoli that's going to actually produce the milk. We have lentiferous sinuses. We have lentiferous ducts, which lead to the end of the nipple. Around the nipple, we have the areola. And being mammals, we produce milk for our young. And again, it's just modified sweat glands, if you will. Anything else we talked about regarding the female? No? All right. That's it for now. We'll come back in a few minutes. We'll go over the rest of the review.